Hi guys, Miss Heidi here. Thanks for joining me for another circle time with little Miss Zoe. She's excited to come jump on my lap for another story time. Oh, you get comfortable. Oh yeah. All right, well today I'm going to read another one of my favorite books from my collection that I used to read to my son. And I'm sure that you might have heard of it. It's called The Story of Ferdinand. Bull. Now, there was a movie out recently about this bull and kind of based on the story of this bull. So I'm excited to read it with you today. It's by Monroe Leaf and the drawings are by Robert Lawson. Are you ready to check it out, Zoe? Yeah? She's very tired from our walk today. So, are you going to get comfortable? Are you ready? Okay. Ready, let's go. Yeah, lay down. Come on. Lay down. Thank you. Okay. Ferdinand, the bull. Once upon a time in Spain, there was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. You see him there, sniffing a flower, checking out a beautiful butterfly. In the distance, we see Spain. And we hear in the distance, Tofu. Maybe he'll come. Tofu, come! Do you want to hear our story? Maybe not. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. But not Ferdinand. He liked to sit just quietly and smell the flowers. He had a favorite spot out in the pasture under a cork tree. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. You see him sitting underneath his favorite tree. And do you see Ferdinand's mom? Beautiful cow. Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head? She would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. I like it better here, where I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers. His mother saw that, and his mother saw that he was not lonesome. And because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew until he was very big and strong. Excuse me. Do you see him marking as he grows? Do you do that at home? Do you mark when you were a week, month old, year, 2 years? And there's a vulture on top of the tree stump. Look how big Ferdinand is getting. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. Oh, look, here's the sign for the bullfights, and there's all the bulls lined up looking at it, but not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and smell the flowers. Do you see him there? Under the cork tree in the shade. I don't know if you can see that. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats. Oh my gosh, look how funny those hats are. Do you see how many hats? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different hats. I like it. To pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. Oh, look, you can see the back of their hats there. All the other bulls ran around, snorting and butting, leaping and jumping, so the men would think they were very, very strong and fierce, and pick them. Ferdinand knew that they wouldn't pick him, and he didn't care. So when he went out to his favorite cork tree and he sat down, do you see the bumblebee on the clover flower? So cute. He didn't look where he was sitting, and instead of sitting on the nice, cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Oh no. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him. And that is just what this bee did to Ferdinand. Look at his face. Wow, did it hurt. Ferdinand jumped with a snort. He ran around puffing and snorting, buffing, butting, and pawing the ground as if he were crazy. Well, the 5 men saw him, and they all shouted with joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. So they took him away for the bullfight in a cart. There he is, being dragged away. What a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing, and all the lovely ladies in flowers had flowers in their hair. Everyone is all dressed up, so pretty. They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the bandoleros with long, sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make him mad. Next came the picadores, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick in the bull and make him madder. Then came the matador, the proudest of them all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Excuse me. Then came the bull, and you know who that was, don't you? Ferdinand. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all the bandoleros were afraid of him, and the picaderos were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped because they thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers in all the lovely lady's hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the bandoleros were mad, and the picadores were madder, and the matador was so mad he cried because he couldn't show off his cape and sword. So they had to take Ferdinand home. And for all I know, he is sitting there still under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers, just quietly. He is very happy. The end. There's a little flower. Well, what did you think of that book, my friends? Oh, here is the banner of Ferdinand. And it's decorated with all different kinds of flowers on the book. I hope you really liked hearing that story with me today, guys. It's one of my favorites. Thanks for coming to my circle time today, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye. Don't forget to wash your hands.